Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you've been well. This video is going to be talking about my Subaru Forester out here. You guys probably follow me, you know about my Tacoma and my adventure series. Maybe you follow me for preparedness and guns and gear reviews. Oh, speaking of which, Shooting Surplus just sent me this new guy. This is a Q Fix. It's like a precision rifle. So this month, in a couple weeks, Mike Glover from Fieldcraft Survival is coming out, and I'm gonna do a video or a couple videos on precision rifle. He was a Green Beret sniper for a number of years, so he's gonna kind of teach me the long gun. So stay tuned for that if you're into that. But yeah, my Subaru Forester. Also while I'm here, Ashley just got a RAV4. Look at this. Not in my car, it's Ashley's car, so I don't think we're gonna do a whole lot to it. I Plastidipped the wheels for her, but I don't know. You could comment down below and let me know if you'd like to see that thing kitted out, and maybe we'll try and do something, but no plans for that right now. Also, some of you might know about my 80 series Land Cruiser, 97 40th anniversary, triple locked. That'll be showing up on the channel too, but for now, we're gonna get into the Forester. It's super bright out, so the light's not great, but hopefully we'll make do. So my Forester, I'm gonna start off with just some specs about it, what I've done to it, things like that. So if you're not into my channel or me or anything, and you're just looking for specs on the Forester, we're gonna get into that. At the end of the video, if you're more curious about, like, people that subscribe to me, I have a lot of reasons that I do things. If you're curious why I have a Forester, the logic behind it, kind of the things that I like about it, stay tuned to the end of the video and I'll get into those things. So here it is. It's a 2004 Subaru Forester 2.5 XT. That means it's got the 2.5 liter turbo engine in there. Quick way to tell typically is because they got the hood scoop. So unless somebody did that, you know, bought a hood and put it on their non-XT, usually there's a hood scoop in the hood. It's a functioning hood scoop with a top-mounted intercooler, and they're pretty quick. And they're all-wheel drive, and that's the main reasons I got it. Obviously, mine's not a factory color. This is Plastidipped, the whole thing. Dipyourcar.com sells kits, full kits where you can Plastidip your whole car. So they sell you it in gallon things. They have like your base coat. They have all your prep stuff, your cleaning stuff, they have it ships with tape and like sheets to mask off everything, wheel covers, and then kind of a thing that you apply after you're done to smooth it out, because it's a rubberized material, and you spray this thing on. It's kind of like a wax almost, and that smooths it out and makes it look a little nicer and makes the kind of texture and feel a little better and makes it a little more durable and resistant to the elements. Anyway, they sell full kits, so if you want to do one, it's pretty easy, honestly. The whole process, so this car is black underneath, it was dirty and just factory paint. So from a dirty car to done took me about 5 hours. So that's talking about washing the car, cleaning it, prepping it, masking it off, and then spraying several coats. You want to spray a bunch of layers on here. There's a bunch of videos online. I'll link to them down below, but dipyourcar.com, great resource for if you want to paint your car. And it's pretty easy. I messed up a few things. I'll show you some areas that I messed up. So if you're thinking about doing it yourself, so here, this is a dent in the bumper, so try to ignore this, but behind it is this area. So I think I just didn't clean it enough. So when I sprayed it down, it just tried to adhere to like some dust or some dirt and didn't stick. I did something like that in a couple of places. In my hood scoop, I have another one. And then back here on my spoiler, I have another area. So I would recommend taking a lot of time to make sure you're very clean in all your little nooks and crannies. I did it just one evening, and as I tend to do, I just did it too fast, so I didn't prep it enough. But overall, I'm really happy with the results. I think it looks awesome. It really changes the whole look of the car, and it's relatively cheap. It's a few $100. You probably will have to buy the sprayer gun, which adds a little bit to the cost, but still, I think for around $500 all in, maybe $600 all in, with some sweat equity, you can do this. And then once you have the kit, you could do it to other cars or other things as well. So I've been very happy with it. I don't think I would recommend it for hard off-road use where branches and stuff are scratching against it. I don't think it's as durable as my vinyl wrap on my truck, but way cheaper, easier. You don't have to disassemble any panels or anything like that. So I've been happy with the Plastidip so far. I also Plastidipped the factory wheels. So these are them. These are my factory 16-inch Subaru wheels that I Plastidipped with the wheel kit, this bronze color. Again, I'll link to all this stuff down below. I'm gonna link to everything, anything I talk about, I'll link down below just so you can check it out or buy it if you want to. Anyway, that's the color. It's camo green. They have a tactical green, which is a little, I don't like it as much, but a lot of people like it more. This kind of has, I think, a subtle gray undertone to it. It's kind of almost a mix between like what you think of as a standard OD green and like a foliage green kind of. My car is super dirty, both outside and in. Philip and I went out to scout a bunch of new gun shooting locations. And I was like, oh, let's take the Forester out, because we usually take the truck, or now I have the Land Cruiser, but the Forester can handle where we were exploring. So we took it out, and it's kind of muddy and dirty, and it's super dirty inside. So try to ignore that. It's normally a little cleaner than this, but not super clean, honestly. I did get new wheels and tires. These are my winter wheels and tires. I just wanted to put them on to test fit. They are bigger than factory. They do rub a tiny bit. I'll show you where in just a second. The tires are Blizzaks in 235/50 R18, which makes them about 1 inch taller than factory, and a little bit wider. The wheels are Sparco Assetto Guerra in gold. And gold's just kind of a, not super common, but kind of a somewhat common color to put on these Subarus. And I just like the look. I like the look of the wheels. The wheels and tires I got on sale from Tire Rack, so I kind of bought them before the snow season really started, just because they were on a super good discount. So I'm gonna put my all seasons back on. I just wanted to test fit when we took it off on this road to kind of see how much rubbing I'd get and stuff. So a little bit of rubbing. Rub a little bit back here. This is the rear wheel. Rub a little bit in there. So both of those are plastic parts, which I might be able to heat up and bend back. So I did the Plastidip. A lot of people Plastidip very nice cars, like brand new mint condition cars. So it's not a cheap car thing, but for me, my paint was trash. There's scratches and fading all over. There's a ton of hail damage that you probably can't see very well. I thought the matte would show the hail damage more, but if I keep it a little bit dirty, which doesn't look bad on the OD, it actually hides it kind of hides the hail damage. Like if this was the black, shiny black, you could see the hail damage really bad. And you can still definitely see it on this, but not as bad. And the paint has all kinds of things like this, dents, like pretty big dents. It has a big dent in the rear, back in this area, but it was like super scratched up. Anyways, that's why I got it so cheap for like $5,000, because it's pretty beat up. But now with a little bit of sweat equity and Plastidip, my headlights were completely yellowed out. Like I didn't even realize they looked so cool underneath. They were just yellow. So I got a kit on Amazon where it's basically a buffing compound that you put on your drill, and made them look really, really good, honestly. So clean those up really nice. They're dirty right now, but they look really good. I changed the bulbs to LEDs, and then I put this yellow film over the fog lights, and I Plastidipped the grill, and then I got this sticker to put on the emblem that kind of just matched the whole vibe. So that's kind of the visual mods I've done. So up here on the top, I do have the factory crossbars, but I took them off just because I kind of like the more low profile look of these guys without the crossbars on. But if you're building this into more of like an overland rig, then maybe you want to put a basket up here or whatever. I drilled holes, so I had some of these eyelets left over from my Prinsu roof rack on my Tacoma. I bought a bunch of these things and I had some leftovers. So I drilled a hole and put a bolt through that this thing threaded onto. I put 3 of them on each side here. So that way I can put a tent or Pelican case or waterproof bags or whatever. Yesterday I put on a set of Max Tracks and just cinched them down to the roof because my roof is already scratched up and dented, and my sunroof's actually cracked up here. It doesn't leak. So I don't care about the roof too much, but I do like the functionality of being able to strap stuff on top. So adding these eyelets kind of gave me that ability while still keeping kind of the low profile look of no roof racks. It didn't have a factory spoiler, so I bought one off of eBay and just installed it. I think these things look far better with the spoilers on them. And then back here, we have exhaust. So this thing, what makes this thing special, it has a Cobb Stage 2 on it. So this is a turbo engine. I forget if I mentioned it earlier, the 2.5 XTs of this generation have an STI engine with a WRX turbo. So these are Impreza models. The STI is the fastest one and the WRX is fast as well. But the STI has a bigger engine and a bigger turbo. The WRX has the smaller kind of base engine and a smaller turbo. This car has the bigger engine with the smaller turbo, so it's kind of a hybrid between an STI and a WRX. A lot of the platform is shared with the Imprezas, with STIs and the WRXs, so a lot of the parts and the engines and a lot of the stuff are carryover. So what that means is, while mine kind of looks special, obviously, this is kind of a sleeper car because it's got a fast turbo engine, all-wheel drive. It's basically a WRX with a bigger engine, or an STI with a slightly smaller turbo. So it's got some get up and go even from the factory. The thing with turbo vehicles, you could put a little bit of effort into them, retune them, and they become very fast. So this thing, when I bought it, was fast enough to kind of be fun and be like, oh yeah, this has got a turbo, it's a little faster. But now with the Stage 2, this thing is fast. I mean, it's not a race car fast or anything, but for a little $5,000 wagon, it's very fast. It's fast to the point where Ashley actually gets a little bit scared when I go too fast in it. So we'll pop the hood here. So underneath, this is the top-mounted intercooler. So that's the functioning hood scoop up there. Sorry, some crazy light. And so what I added was the Cobb intake, and then back here is where the turbo is. So when you put a new downpipe on it, so I have a full turbo back, so the turbo's right here, so from there back I have a full new exhaust. So it's called the downpipe and then the cat back, basically. When you add that, you got to put on a new heat shield. So this is the Cobb heat shield. So that just opens up lets it breathe a lot better, basically. And with that, with the intake and the turbo back exhaust, you can tune it differently for the new airflow. So I have a Stage 2 tune on here. So this guy's called a Cobb Accessport. I'm not going to go way too much into the features. If you're into kind of tuning, you're no stranger to this. It gives you some gauges. You can monitor a bunch of stuff. You can export a bunch of information from your ECU. And the main thing is you can change the tune of your car. So it does stuff like adjust the boost, change some air-fuel ratios, some timing, stuff like that to basically make your car go faster. So with my intake and exhaust and the Stage 2 tune, it increases the power by something like 25%, a significant amount. And I've had some performance cars over the years, and even in my Tacoma, I have an intake. I have the TRD intake and I have a AFE exhaust, and I mainly do it for the sound. I like the sound of aftermarket intake, and I like the sound of aftermarket exhaust. So I did this. Cobb sent this kit out to me. I actually reached out to them, and they sent this kit out. I kind of told them what the plan was for the vehicle and everything. So they sent this kit out, and I honestly thought it would just sound good. I was like, oh yeah, it will sound good, and it'll, you know, probably make it a little quicker. It's just an automatic, which I'll get into in a second. But I mean, the performance gain out of this is nutsos. It's insane. So I got the added benefit of this sounding amazing, which we'll get into in a little bit, but also it's super fast. So it's really fun to drive now, even though it's just an automatic. Boo. But the XTs, so this model of the Forester was they only made like 5% of the Foresters in the XT version. Of those 5%, I think they only made like 15% or something in a manual. So manuals are super rare. And I bought this car kind of on a whim. So it came at an interesting time when I was getting my Tacoma wrapped. I was gonna be without a car for 1 or 2 weeks, and I was like, well, I could rent a car, but I've been wanting to buy a car, an all-wheel drive car that I could put dedicated snow tires on. That makes a huge difference, and we'll kind of get a little bit more to this in the end. On my Tacoma, I have big, meaty 35-inch tires on there, and these are the Falcon Wild Peak AT3Ws, which do pretty well in the snow, but they can't hold a candle to a dedicated snow tire like the Blizzak. So I do commute to work a few days a week, so I wanted a car that I could put dedicated snow tires on. So that's that. All right, let's go inside here. I'll show you a little bit what we got going on. So it does have leather seats, which are actually in decent condition. There's a couple small rips and stuff that I touched up, but overall, not that bad, honestly. So in the side pocket, I have some various things, flashlight, I have an extra Glock mag, a little crescent wrench, a couple little tools, phone charger, stuff like that. So it's just in this thing, and this is actually like a Vertex mag pouch thing that fit nicely in there. On the other side, I have a little more random stuff. Then I have first aid kit, tourniquet, some wet wipes, things like that in the glove box. Top, I got this little thing. It's not that great, but it's a dash cam that also you can hook up a reverse camera, which I haven't wired up yet, the reverse camera part. And it just came with this old Pioneer unit that doesn't have Bluetooth or anything like that. I got a Bluetooth radio transmitter. It's in the back. I'll show you in a second. So super ghetto. But basically, my phone connects to the Bluetooth thing, and then it transmits to a radio frequency, and then I just play the radio on this thing. So I have music, but it's certainly pretty ghetto. I got a little cell phone thingy that I put up here. This has like a little storage compartment up here that I don't have anything in. My Cobb Accessport. I do have WeatherTech mats that I put in that are filthy. Quick tip, if you're gonna get WeatherTechs for this, don't even bother with the backseat ones. The mats in the back seat suck, but the fronts are good. So there are two small cup holders here. I added these things. So this is like a big one that fits my Nalgene, or it could fit a hydro flask. I didn't put this Nightmare Before Christmas thing. This just comes with that in the bottom. It's like a foam thing. And I got this, which is like a double cup converter. So not the prettiest thing in the world in here, but functional. I just wanted more cup holders because we take this out hiking and stuff like that. So I just added those two. I do have heated seats underneath. Those actually work still, which is cool. In the console, I just have some headphones and miscellaneous junk here for headphones for working out at the gym. That's pretty much in here. Nothing too exciting. I have a little Gerber axe that I keep in there. If you want to watch my axe video, I talk more about axes. Nothing in the back seat. We'll have a honey badger back here just from when we went shooting. This is a honey badger 300 blackout with the Silencer Co. Omega 9K can on there on a tri-lug. It's a pretty cool setup. Check this out. So the tri-lug, boop, right off. Anyway, this isn't usually in here, honestly, just in there from when we went shooting. Again, the WeatherTech mats in the back that suck. I do keep a rain jacket back here sometimes because it's been raining a bit lately in Colorado, and then a pair of mechanics gloves. And then in the back, I do have this little cover thingy. Came with that. I keep typically, and this is super dirty again because we just went down this fire road with the windows open and my whole car is covered in filth. I got to clean it out. But what I have back here is the factory kind of Subaru mat. This is like a hiking bag. I just keep it in here because we go on hikes a bit. And then it's also kind of a get home bag. So this is kind of a bag that I built to be hiking / get home. If you want me to go over that bag, let me know in the comments down below. I could kind of do a contents of that. I have this high quality fire extinguisher actually that H3R Performance sent out to me. They actually sent me some stuff to equip my Subaru, my Tacoma, and my Land Cruiser. So they make these and then these flat mounts. I haven't mounted this yet, so I'm trying to think of a place where I want to mount it. But I'm going to be putting one of those in the Tacoma and the Land Cruiser because fire. I don't want any of my cars to burn down. But also I'm out in the wilderness so often, and Colorado's had some pretty bad forest fires over the years. I like to keep this. So this is the one that will work on wood fires as well as electrical and liquid fires. ABC, dry chemical. If you don't care about forest fires, like if you're not in an area where that's going to affect you, they do have an even better one that doesn't do wood, but it's even better for automotive. So mine are kind of like a multi-use fire extinguisher that I have in here. But anyways, really high quality fire extinguishers with nice mounts. You just pull the pin to get it out and it's good to go. I need to mount that up somewhere. I have a little cargo net over here that I can hook up if I need to. And then underneath the rear mat, there's storage, which I don't really have. There's like the factory jack and stuff over here. And then under here, I have some stuff in my spare tire. So this is on the right, it's from Tack Life. Actually, both of these things are from Tack Life. This is a battery, it's like a jump starter, and these are just super handy. I've used them on my own vehicle about once, I think maybe twice actually. And then I've used them actually in parking lots for other people that left their headlights on or whatever. And it's way easier than getting out a set of jumper cables and pulling your car around and making sure you're close enough. You just hook this battery up and jumpstart the car. And I was skeptical of them at first, but I've used them like 6 or 7 times now, and they've just worked flawlessly every time. So obviously you can use it to jumpstart yourself, but I've used it more often to jumpstart other people. And the left bag is a Tack Life air inflator, tire inflator. So I keep that in there just in case, but I more often than not like I'm just filling up like a bicycle tire or balls or whatever with that. So they fit nicely back into the spare back here. Over here I have a couple tie down straps and stuff, and nothing really else fun back there. But I like this little thing because nobody can see. Not that I keep a bunch of stuff back there. If I did, it's, you know, nice. Also keeps it, the sun's not bearing down on it quite as much. These rear seats do fold down and you can kind of sleep in here. I've slept in here once just to try it out. It's a little tight, but if you're a little shorter, maybe less than 5'10", you could kind of lean those seats up and sleep back here if you wanted to, like overland style. Okay, I ended up rambling more than I thought I would, but that pretty much wraps it up, I think, as far as the car. And then let's talk a little bit about why I bought the car. All right, so let's talk a little bit about why would I buy that car? And so the reason is because I had this truck. I still have this truck. I'm gonna have this truck for a while, don't worry about it. It's on 35-inch tires. I've been kind of keeping it more kitted out for camping. I've just been leaving the rooftop tent on, and it's nice to just leave it filled with my camping gear because I go camping quite a bit. So this, it's been my daily driver forever, since I bought it back in 2016. It still could totally be my daily driver, but I thought, why don't I get something that's a little better for commuting down the road? So I was kind of shopping around and the XT came around, and I've always kind of bounced back and forth between trucks and fast cars and trucks and fast cars, but I'm getting a little older. And so now I was kind of looking at practicality. So I was looking at Foresters. I've always kind of liked them, weird enough. Some people just hate them and despise them, and some people like them. There's a small group of us that like them. I didn't know that much about them, so I was doing a little research and I found out about the XT model. And I was like, wow, I could get a super practical car that's also fast, that would be great in the mountains. So I shopped around for a little bit, and fortunately there was a cheap one for sale that same day that I started looking, and that's the one I ended up buying. So it doesn't get great gas mileage as a thing, and it needs premium fuel because it's a turbo. So if you're just looking for a super fuel efficient practical car. The XT model, the turbo model, is not that car, but the Forester in general is pretty good. I wanted the fast car because I cared a little bit. I mean, if it had great fuel economy, that'd be awesome, but I cared a little bit less about that. I wanted a car that I could beat up, not really care about, rack the miles onto. There's also pretty crazy hail in Colorado, so I was like, I don't really, now that I got this wrapped and everything, getting it hailed on would be even more of a pain in the butt. So all signs pointed to a kind of beater commuter, which is why I got that. Another huge reason is because, like I talked about briefly earlier, I have big old 35-inch tires, and while the Falcon Wild Peak AT3Ws are pretty good in the snow, like for an all-terrain tire, they're really good. But they're not nearly as good as a snow tire. A dedicated snow tire has like very different siping and has a very different, primarily rubber compound that stays soft in colder conditions, which makes it better in the cold, it makes it better on ice, it just makes it better all around in the winter than an all-terrain tire. They don't sell winter tires big enough to fit this. They don't sell 35-inch dedicated snow tires that I know of, really, so you gotta have an all-terrain tire. I live at 9,000 feet of elevation. You guys are probably sick of hearing me say that, but I live high. I'm in Colorado, I live in the mountains, so a lot of my life is snow. And while this did okay, it did fine, it did as well as an all-terrain tire can do, it didn't do as good as when I previously had snow tires. So I wanted to get back to snow tires. So this is gonna be dedicated snow tires, Blizzaks on it, all-wheel drive. And for those that don't know, all-wheel drive is actually, especially Subaru all-wheel drive, which is cream of the crop, is better in snow than four-wheel drive. So this is naturally a two-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive vehicle that you can put into four-wheel drive. The four-wheel drive, while good, better, way better off-road, is not as good on-road as an all-wheel drive vehicle. So the all-wheel drive, even if the Tacoma and the Subaru had the same tires, the all-wheel drive system would be better than the four-wheel drive system on the Tacoma. And that's just fact for on-road performance. So this will be a better snow winter commuter on all fronts. Plus the hatchback of the Forester, especially this model, in the back is almost straight, right? It's almost straight. And what that means is more modern, a lot of more modern kind of hatchback vehicles like the RAV4, for instance, is sloped, is angled back here. So you're losing all of this space. Sorry, it's really hard to draw this backwards. You're losing all this space. So since I have a dog and I would like to throw him in the back, and I do sometimes, having that extra headroom for him and that extra space is really nice. So the more straight up design of the Forester is actually makes more usable space. And I've always liked wagons, I've always liked SUVs, so that's kind of like a mini SUV wagon. So that's the Forester, that's why I have it. Those are the reasons that I have it. Cobb Stage 2 makes this thing a blast to drive. The Plastidipped makes it bearable to look at. And just the practicality, the functionality of the Forester makes a lot of sense for me. So, that's why I have the Forester. If you have any questions about the Forester, ask them down below. Again, I'll put links to everything that I talked about down there. If you want to see my get home bag video or whatever, let me know, /hiking bag. If you have questions about anything, Tacoma, gear, anything, I always love questions and comments down below. Comments for the algorithm. It's always nice hearing you guys say, hey, how's it going? Let me know. And then just asking me questions. A lot of the videos I make, this one included, are answering questions that people ask of my gear or just kind of theoretical type stuff. So love questions. Get subscribed to the channel if you're not already. While I probably won't be doing a ton more Forester videos, I do a lot of other cool videos. Again, let me know if you want to see something done to the RAV4. No plans for that right now since it's not even mine, but I have some convincing power over Ashley. I could probably convince her to do something with it. So that's it. Hit that thumbs up button. Get to that notification squad. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.